All right, friends of the Undead, we're here at Horror Hound Weekend 2015 in Indianapolis, and we're talking with Fritz The Nite Owl from Nite Owl Theatre. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing quite well. It's a very exciting event. Great costumes, great people, great monsters, scared to death. Terrific.
Now, you've been to Horror Hound before. It's a great time, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. This is about my sixth time here, and now started in television in 74, doing horror all the way till about 91 and a half, hosting movies 7 nights a week, and I never knew until about 5 years ago that events like this were going on.
74? You were hosting movies every night of the week?
Yeah, that was when television was powered by steam. We had double chiller on Friday only. It was all horror on Friday, but we had a very wide range of what we considered chiller theater. We would show sci-fi. We showed like comic book characters like Spider-Man and Captain Marvel and even Tarzan. And then we would show Psycho, and we showed like Helter Skelter. So it didn't always have to be Godzilla or the thing that devoured Cleveland. So we as I say, chiller theater really had a broad range, whereas what we're doing now is probably 98% horror, slasher type films. But on the other hand, we do throw in like a Jaws and a Blade Runner and a Shining and try to keep a variety going.
Where do you get the rights for these movies?
Well, actually, we show them at a legit theater, and the theater gets the rights from the distributor, but very limited. Namely, we can show a Nite Owl version with my breaks and fake commercials and interrupt the movies like a movie host did in the 70s, 80s, and the theater gets the rights to show it, and then they also give us the rights to show it like here at a big event like this. But we're not allowed to make DVD copies of them for sale or for broadcast over the air like we were able to do when we did our first 2 years. Were all public domain movies where again, you could buy DVDs of my version of them afterwards. But we're doing just as well with the ones where we can just show one night only. I wish, though, that I could win the lottery so I could buy a television station and afford the ASCAP and BMI rights for the music and the distributor rights for the better movies.
Well, we wish you could too, so maybe you could spread some of the love to the other horror hosts.
Well, I'm doing my best. I try the Ohio lottery every week. Still haven't hit much more than $5 or $10, but hope springs eternal.
So you went from the small screen to the big screen, basically.
Right.
And this is in Columbus?
Columbus,
Ohio?
Yeah.
And what's the name of the theater where you broadcast?
It's the Gateway Theater, and it's a big, I think they got 7 or 8 screens, and it's right across the street from the main Ohio State University campus at 11th and High. Anybody who knows the OSU area, the main campus entrance is 15th and High, and we're about 4 blocks south of that, so real easy to find.
That's pretty awesome. So you're bringing the hosting to a whole new group of college kids.
There are people who have, most of the people actually have come to the Gateway are college people and so forth, and they've never seen a hosted movie. So like now they're used to Oprah coast to coast, Judge Judy coast to coast, and they're not used to cities where there was like a local kiddie show that you would only see in that city, or a local cooking show, or a local variety show, or a local movie host show. And so that, they're not used to seeing movies interrupted with the guy and commercials, and we play the Star-Spangled Banner at the end, and they say, gee, why do you do that? Are you trying to be extra patriotic or send a message? And they don't realize that in those old days of TV, your station would sign off with the Star-Spangled Banner at about 2, 3 in the morning, and then there was static for 6 hours, and then about 6 o'clock, good morning, this is WBNS TV, Channel 10, signing on for another broadcast day.
Well, I think it's great that you're doing it in a theater, and for the college kids, have they been fairly responsive to it?
Oh, very much so. The theater is quite a large, as I say, they've got about 8 theaters in there, and we usually do one of the mid-sized theaters that's maybe 150 to 250 seats, and we're usually about 2/3 or 3/4 filled, and sometimes we got standing room only. So we did one show. We were at the Grandview Theater then, and it was the day of the Ohio State-Michigan game, and we said if OSU wins, nobody's going to come to the movie at midnight because they'll be too plowed from partying. If they lose, they won't come to the midnight show because they're drowning their sorrows, and we had a full house.
That's very awesome.
Yeah, surprising too.
So have you got a website where people in Ohio can go to get the schedule for your screenings?
Absolutely, fritzlives.com, and then we're also on Facebook.
Fritz
The
Lives?
Nite Owl. Well, fritzlives.com is one place you can go, and then, as I say, there's the Fritz the Nite Owl on Facebook.
All right.
So I hope everybody, I need more than 14 viewers, so I hope everybody checks me out, writes a letter, sends a picture, whatever.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us here in the Bordello of Horror, and we just appreciate the work you've done for years, and thank you.
Well, as Terry Garr said in Young Frankenstein, the feeling is mucho.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Fritz.
you.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Likewise.